Okay. Good morning, class. Welcome once again to today's lecture. So, we are looking at the use of English, and we're going to continue quickly from reading for vocabulary development. Now, there are a lot of things we'll be doing this morning, and then we'll be doing a lot of exercise as far as today's lecture is concerned, because we are talking about the use of English. We are talking about you being able to communicate effectively. And like I said last week, this particular course is a course that is very important to every other courses that you are offering. So I want you to pay attention. I believe you have your pen and your biro with you, as in your book, pardon me. So now, and I know I gave copies of assignment last week, which I believe that some of you have been able to do justice to that. But to some of you that I'm yet to receive yours, where we gave 1 week ultimatum. Okay, so when we talk about reading for vocabulary development, we say words and their meanings are powerful. You need words in mostly every type of communication. So without words, there's nothing called communication. So, and communication is a day-to-day activity. So whatever I am doing with you right now is communication. So you cannot listen, speak, write, or read English effectively without the words. So therefore, you need to be able to what? Increase your vocabulary power. Very important. So to increase your vocabulary power suggests a lot of effort. So on your own part, it requires a lot of effort. You need to put in a lot of effort. You must be deliberate about your development. Very important. So you need to read intensively and extensively. You need to increase your vocabulary power daily, and you need to be able to deduce meaning of words in context. Meaning of words in context. So if someone is speaking to you, you should be able to deduce the meaning of whatever the person is saying without actually checking the dictionary. You know, even if you are not familiar with such words, by listening attentively, you know, you should be able to deduce meanings of words in context. So all these are the concern of the next 4 units you'll be treating in this course. So I hope that at the end of the unit, you'll be fully equipped to be able to multiply your vocabulary power. Very important. To be able to, you know, multiply your vocabulary powerhouse tremendously. Now, last week, you know, I talked to you about the difference between bus and bus. You know, we are talking about vocabulary development, and I said, if you don't know how to produce or pronounce words correctly, you are going to be finding the use of English very challenging. It's important that you know how to pronounce words correctly. You know, we are talking about words here. Say words and their meanings are powerful. So now, last week I said boss. For example, Benga is the boss of his organization. Mr. Benga is the boss of his organization. Now let's look at bus now. The school bus is here. So the way you pronounce these words are not the same. They are not the same. So look at the second example I want to give you. Only the boss has the power to fire anyone in this organization. Do you see that now? Now, let's look at bus. The public bus is expensive. So if the same way I produce when I was talking about Mr. Benga, being the boss of his organization, it is the same way I will pronounce the public bus is expensive. No, that is wrong. Which so many of us are very accustomed to, we are used to. It's important. As simple as some of this is, they're important to our vocabulary development. They're important to our vocabulary development. So, okay, the boss only supervises workers. Now listen, the boss only supervises workers. I'm trying to give you different examples now. Okay, now let me now give another example with BUS. BUS. I've given you one example with BOSS. So now, a bus is a road vehicle designed to carry many passengers. Do you see that now? So a bus is designed to carry many passengers. So when you know how to pronounce all these sounds correctly, when you don't only know the alphabet of English language, but you know the sounds of English language, you be able to communicate effectively. We're talking about the use of English. So you must be able to use this English correctly. At the same time, we cannot talk about vocabulary development without, mentioning tenses, use of tenses, very important. Some of you now from your assignment have discovered a lot of things from your use of what? Tenses. So this course is designed to help you. So we are not just going to be doing reading. I'm going to be teaching you practical, steps, practical steps that you need to take. I'm going to be pointing your attention to things that matter in the use of communication, in the use of English. Very important. So when we talk about the use of tenses, if you can get this, you don't have any problem again in English language. And I'm bringing up this because we are talking about vocabulary development. So it's not just all about cramming. You need to know it. You need to understand what we are talking about. It's important. So when we talk about the use of what? Tenses, we talk about the verb tenses, where we have the present tense, the present continuous, past tense, present perfect, past perfect, and then future simple. All this you must know. So as I move on with the teaching, I'm going to be touching tenses also as important. So having looked at that, we are going to look at research for vocabulary development. That is why I said you need to have your pen and paper or book to write, because there are a lot of things I'm going to be saying that you don't even have in your slide. It's important. So now, research for vocabulary development, gain one word a day. Please, I plead with you that you should be able to do what? Gain one word a day. I didn't say one. There is difference between W-O-N and O-N-E. W-O-N is one. One, when you try to warn someone. But this one gave one word, one. So can you produce that after me? Can you pronounce wherever you are now? Say one. One, two. It's not one. So when you say one, you are saying something different. So you need to have understanding. So gain one word a day, and you have 365 words a year. Gain 2 words a day, and then you gain how many words? 730 words. So if you gain 3 words a day, you are expecting 1,095 words a year. So just multiply that. So if in a day you take it upon yourself that as I listen to the radio today, as I listen to the television today, so as I watch the news generally today, as I listen to sermon today, I want to learn at least a word. Today, you will be able to achieve a lot of, new words at the end of the day. So that is what we mean by research for what? For vocabulary development. And let me quickly say this. When you want to learn English language, or you want to be familiar to different words, it's not all about carrying your dictionary all the time. No, when you hear a new word, please put it down. Put it down and then listen to the speaker attentively. That is why I took my time last week to really explain, listening. What it means to listen. Who is a listener? Because if you cannot listen attentively, there is no how you can do well in what we are talking about here, because we're talking about vocabulary development. You will not be able to do well in vocabulary development. It's important. So let's move on. So we said finding words and meanings of words by word attack. That's what I just explained now. So the best way is you can attack a seemingly long and difficult word by breaking it into their word divisible parts, such as prefixes. Yes, I believe you should know what prefix is all about. Attachment to word that comes before the root word. That is what prefix. So we have prefix, we have suffix, and we have the root word. You get that now? So the core of the main part of the word and suffixes. So attachment after the root or main part of word. So you can find the meaning of each component and join them at the end to deduce the actual meaning of what? Of the word. Of the word. So as I'm talking to you now, you should be able to write a particular word, and then from the word, detach the prefix, detach the suffix, and then you have the root word. So from there, you will be able to do what? To have better understanding of what we are talking about. So find the meanings of words by identifying lexical what? Familiarization. Lexical familiarization. So by lexical familiarization, we mean words that are similar. Words that are similar, related, or familiar to the word that we are trying to determine their meanings. So writers, in an attempt to give the reader sufficient understanding of the meaning of a newly introduced word, supply some words around the new word that are related or belong to the same field or family of the new word. So lexical familiarization strategy is a deliberate intention on the part of the writer to give the reader sufficient words that will lead to what? To sufficient understanding of the meaning of the newly introduced term. So in order to enable the reader to continue to read the text with what? With confidence. Like I said, we are going to also looking at use of tenses. Very important. Very important. So we talk about the present progressive. How do you make use of that? How do you make use of that? The present progressive. So it is used to talk about an action that is happening now. The one you call present tense. An action that is happening now. You know, or about a temporary situation. For example, we are just having breakfast. She's not listening to me. What are you reading? What are you listening to? So begin to answer all these questions wherever you are now. What are you listening to? You know, so present tense, we say present simple is used for actions that happen regularly. For example, when you say I used to, for example, I teach use of English. I teach use of English. If I like, I can add where. If I like, I can add when. So even they are not happening right now, and for things that are generally true, e.g., we sleep at night. We sleep at night. So it's important you have good understanding of this. So to talk about something that is not finished, you know, to talk about something that is not what? Finished. Even if you are not doing it at the moment when you are talking, even when you are not doing it at the moment when you are talking, you know, for example, she's writing a novel. She's writing a book. Is she writing at the moment? No. But there is something she's working on. I am learning English. I am learning Italian. I am learning French. We're talking about the present. Yes. Yes, I am learning it. So because I am still doing it. So with always to talk about something that happens often and that you find annoying. For example, he's always asking silly questions. Even if he's yet to ask one now, but he is always, you get that now? He is always asking silly questions. Two now, they are always coming around here to borrow something. Look at the situation we are now. I know some of you, probably you are not feeling anything wherever you are, but the people in Lagos, in Ogun, in Abuja, you know, that experience total lockdown will be able to, you know, say something to what the statement I just made now. They are always coming around here to borrow something. Although they are not with you, but you are reporting, you know, talking about the present. That is what is happening now. The happening now in Nigeria, all over the world, is what? The issue of COVID-19. Talking about the present. Talking about the present pandemic. That is it. We'll soon get out of it. And then it will become a thing of the past. So that is going to lead us to what? To talking about the past. There are things that has happened before to you, but you know, they are things of the past now. So when you want to report them, you use the past tense. So if you don't have understanding of what we are talking here now, there is no how you can do well when it comes to what? Vocabulary development. These are the things that can help you to have better understanding. So when we talk about the past tense, past simple, used for actions in the past which are finished. Don't forget that. For example, he coughed. He coughed. He coughed. She preached. She teach. She what? She preached until he retired. She teaches until she what? She retired. So to talk about a permanent situation is present, or something that is always true. But we're talking about the past now. So the past simple is used to talk about an action that took place in the past. He got up. He got up, paid the bill, and left. Look at that. He got up, paid the bill, and left. But did you? That's a question. So, to about a state that continued for some time, but that is now finished. I went to school in Scotland. I went to school in England. Titi went to school in the United Kingdom. Did she really work there for 10 years? That's a question of did she? Did she really work there? Please have understanding of all these tenses. It's very important. It's very important. So, what a dictionary can provide for you, please listen. Number one, alphabetical order of words. These are just the things a dictionary can do for you. Alphabetical order of what? Of words. Dictionary can help you in that. But before you consult your dictionary, you need to have understanding of what I am teaching you now. Tenses, very important. So, and each time you try to check for the meaning of any word, you will discover that, the word will be written, and then the part of speech will also come with the written word. For example, if the word happen to be a noun, you will see noun. There are some words can double to be maybe both noun and that can be used for both noun and verb. Probably, you will see it there. So various meanings of words as used in various contexts. I'm talking about what a dictionary can provide you. What a dictionary can provide you. The way the words are pronounced, the dictionary can help you out. What I am saying now, if you are with your phone, you go to the dictionary, press any particular word. The dictionary will give you the correct pronunciation. Please follow it. It's important. We are training you to become a global professional. We are preparing you for the global market. So you need to have this understanding. You need to make use of it. It's important. It's important. The services you'll be rendering, don't just look at it that is just meant for your local environment, for your state, or for Nigeria. No. You should be able to interact successfully with the what? With the global people, with the global market. It's important. So the part of speech of the word, e.g., verb, V for verb. Sometimes you see V for what? For verb. Sometimes you see N. for what? For noun. So the context in which the word is used, don't forget we said what a dictionary can provide you. The context in which the word is what? Used. Example of sentences in which the word can be used. So we also have the colloquial usage, if applicable. Another one is figures of speech and idiomatic expressions associated with the word. Dictionary also will help you with that. Different derivational forms of the word, e.g., embody. Look at that now. And we have embodied. We also have embodiment. So when you consider so many things that a page of a dictionary can give, you will agree with me that the dictionary is indeed your companion. Use it when the need to do so arises. You will never regret it. So the dictionary should be your companion. It's on your phone. You can have it at home. If you are confused, quickly turn to your word dictionary. So let's quickly look at the past. No, let's look at present perfect. There's something I want to bring out there. So present perfect used for what? Actions which started in the past, which are still ongoing, or which were completed in the past, but are still directly relevant in the present. Now look at this. This is a past tense, even though it contains the word present. Now, example, my teacher has collected my school fees, or the bursar has collected my school fees. My coordinator, has collected my school fees. So we have past perfect used for actions that happened before another event. Action that is already in the past. Actions that are what? Already in the past. When I checked my records, I found that I had taught them nouns already. That's an example. When I checked my records, look at that. I didn't say when I check. When I checked my records, I found that I have taught them listening skills already. I found out that I had, not I has, I had taught them nouns already. Please, I'm taking this one after the other because I want you to, I want you to be able to stand out. It's important. It's important. So now, let's look at first person, second person, and third person. First person, pronoun. Second person and third person. First person, pronoun. I, me, we, us. First person. Second person, you. Third person, they, them. Look at that. I am coming to see you in your school. First person pronoun. I am coming to see you in your school. let me pause here to allow you, because I don't want to rush this. I want you to have good understanding of this that I am teaching you, because it's really going to help you to be able to stand out. We said vocabulary development in various academic contexts. We will treat vocabulary development in psychology, legal, medical, and paramedical, educational, academic, arts, business, administration, and science. So, as you may probably know, it is not possible for us to expose you to all items of a field. The attempt is just to introduce you to the field and encourage you to read texts in the field more extensively. So we are going to be exposing you to words that are commonly used in the academic world, in psychology, in the legal field, in the medical field. There are words used. Words used in the medical fields are not the same with those in the legal field. It's not the same. And then in the educational sector, we also have our own words. You need to be familiar with all of these. So you are in one department or the other. Those of you listening to me now, some of you are in engineering department, some of you are in computer science department, some of you are in educational planning and management, some of you are in public health, some of you are in healthcare management, that are listening to me now. So you must be able to master, the words that are particular to your own field. It's important. So, for example, now, let's look at vocabulary items related with psychology. We have complement, entirely, environment, intercultural, competence, mental, conducted, hypothesis, assessment, manipulated, identical, degree, precisely, unrelated, variation, relevant, accounted for, comparative. These are words associated to what? To psychology. You can add your own. We also have vocabulary items associated with the legal field. Infringement, infringe into my territory. You hear such words. Negotiation is in the law court. You hear all this. You have to negotiate. Settlement, you have to settle. See? Violation, you have just violated the law. So I want to believe that our students are law-abiding students. So anywhere you are, don't violate the law. So in the legal field, there are words that are what? Particular to the legal field. We have agreement. You see a lawyer telling you before you go into anything, you have to have agreement. Before you start a job, you have to, all this. You have what is called extradite, concurrently, manslaughter, conspiracy, abolish, corpora, and so on and so forth. So you have to read the rest you have to read vocabulary items associated with the medical and paramedical fields. There are a lot of words. You can Google and get a lot of words, patient surgery, hospitalization, and so on and so forth. We have vocabulary items related with education. We have what is called secondary, we have primary, we have policy, we have equipment, we have centralized, we have sector, and prerogative. We use all these words. in what? In the educational sector. We use all these words in the educational sector. So I want you to be able to go now and digest all that we've been able, to discuss today. Go and study more on the use of tenses. It's important. It's important if you be able to communicate effectively in the society and in your own field. So I want to say that we'll meet again next week, same time. So today, I want you to just have time to do some of this personal research, some of these challenges that I throw before you. Take your time, to look at them, and then Google ask some things. So I'm not saying you should send anything to my mail, no, but I want you to do your own personal work before next week. And I know one of these days I'm going to be having time to also interact, to also have you speak, to also have you ask questions. Thank you, and God bless you. Stay safe at this particular period, and then we shall all overcome this period. Thank you once again. I'm Elisha Olorun Toba. Thank you.